Welcome to the In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We're excited to have you join us for this free session happening each and every Tuesday, designed to equip you with the tools, strategies, and expert guidance to start and grow a successful business. If you've been thinking about launching your own business but don't know where to start, or if you're already a business owner looking to scale, this webinar is for you. At In the Beginning Incubator, we specialize in guiding entrepreneurs through every step of the journey, offering the structure, knowledge, and resources needed to thrive. These free weekly webinars are your opportunity to gain real-world business insights, learn proven strategies, and take action toward achieving your entrepreneurial goals. And the best part, you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you every step of the way. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our host, Mr. Christian Johnson, Chief Strategist Officer of In the Beginning Incubator. As an experienced business mentor and strategist, he has helped countless entrepreneurs navigate the challenges of business ownership. His expertise, passion, and dedication to fostering success make him the perfect guy for today's session. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christian Johnson. Welcome to the In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We're excited to have you join us for this free session happening each and every Tuesday, designed to equip you with the tools, strategies, and expert guidance to start and grow a successful business. If you've been thinking about launching your own business but don't know where to start, or if you're already a business owner looking to scale, this webinar is for you. At In the Beginning Incubator, we specialize in guiding entrepreneurs through every step of the journey, offering the structure, knowledge, and resources needed to thrive. These free weekly webinars are your opportunity to gain real-world business insights, learn proven strategies, and take action toward achieving your entrepreneurial goals. And the best part, you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you every step of the way. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our host, Mr. Christian Johnson, Chief Strategist Officer of In the Beginning Incubator. As an experienced business mentor and strategist, he has helped countless entrepreneurs navigate the challenges of business ownership. His expertise, passion, and dedication to fostering success make him the perfect guy for today's session. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christian Johnson. Welcome to the In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We're excited to have you join us for this free session happening each and every Tuesday, designed to equip you with the tools, strategies, and expert guidance to start and grow a successful business. If you've been thinking about launching your own business but don't know where to start, or if you're already a business owner looking to scale, this webinar is for you. At In the Beginning Incubator, we specialize in guiding entrepreneurs through every step of the journey, offering the structure, knowledge, and resources needed to thrive. These free weekly webinars are your opportunity to gain real-world business insights, learn proven strategies, and take action toward achieving your entrepreneurial goals. And the best part, you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you every step of the way. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our host, Mr. Christian Johnson, Chief Strategist Officer of In the Beginning Incubator. As an experienced business mentor and strategist, he has helped countless entrepreneurs navigate the challenges of business ownership. His expertise, passion, and dedication to fostering success make him the perfect guy for today's session. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christian Johnson. Welcome to the In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We're excited to have you join us for this free session happening each and every Tuesday, designed to equip you with the tools, strategies, and expert guidance to start and grow a successful business. If you've been thinking about launching your own business but don't know where to start, or if you're already a business owner looking to scale, this webinar is for you. At In the Beginning Incubator, we specialize in guiding entrepreneurs through every step of the journey, offering the structure, knowledge, and resources needed to thrive. These free weekly webinars are your opportunity to gain real-world business insights, learn proven strategies, and take action toward achieving your entrepreneurial goals. And the best part, you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you every step of the way. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our host, Mr. Christian Johnson, Chief Strategist Officer of In the Beginning Incubator. As an experienced business mentor and strategist, he has helped countless entrepreneurs navigate the challenges of business ownership. His expertise, passion, and dedication to fostering success make him the perfect guy for today's session. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christian Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you all for joining our ITB family. We're happy to be here on April 8th, 2025. Last time we all spoke was last month. We were on here live last month. I can't remember who we had. Forgetting who we had last month, but last month we had our partner, or not our partners, but our clients highlights. We had client highlight webinar, but this month, this is the first time we're doing something different. We're actually doing our partner highlights and some partnerships that we have. So without further ado, everybody knows who I am. I'm Christian Johnson, the Chief Strategy Officer for In the Beginning Incubator, and I'm just gonna let these two young ladies introduce themselves. So the person I have right next to me, Dr. Nairi Cullingham-Pullum, if you could introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Ms. Shauna Lewis.
Thank you so much, Mr. Christian Johnson. My name is Dr. Nairi Cunningham-Pullen, and I am a research assistant professor at Langston University at the what we call the RRTC, which is the Rehabilitation Research Training Center on Employment for people with disabilities and inclusion, equity and inclusion. And I am excited to be here.
Okay, and Ms. Lewis, you can introduce yourself as well.
Yes, I'm Shayna Lewis. I'm with the Urban League of Greater Oklahoma City. I'm a business development coach. I am working with this amazing program and helping with the recruitment of participants that have disabilities to ensure that they're getting the necessary resources to help them with their entrepreneurship journey, which this is amazing what we're talking about tonight. But yes, I'm there answering any general questions that business owners may have, but then also directing them to the necessary resources.
So Ms. Shayna, I'm happy you told me I pronounced your name, Ms. Shauna, but it's Shayna. I asked earlier, I had to make sure I got it right this time. So you got to give it up for me. That's good. So okay, so as people hop in, like I said earlier, we're gonna just people hop in and I'll ask questions and pop them up on the screen as they come in. So for me, my first question is actually for Dr. Cunningham, and I personally want to know on a day-to-day, well, maybe not on a day-to-day, you're obviously a professor, so you do a lot of education, do a lot of teaching and lecturing, but walk us through something, a day-to-day working with the incubator, something that you might be doing, something that you might be researching, something you might be looking into. So tell us a little bit on that side, what a typical day might look like when you're doing research.
Thank you for that question. Currently, I'm working on a manuscript to be that's been accepted for the special issue of the Journal of Rehabilitation Services, and it's talking about the M2 potty. It's talking about this project, and what I'm currently writing about is the framework, and it's the Multiply Marginalized Persons with Disabilities Incubator Conceptual Framework, which is definitely a mouthful. And so what I'm discussing right now is just the framework in what we're doing on this project. This is before talking about any of the data of what's happening. This is just giving the field an overview of this framework and what we're doing, the idea behind what we're doing. Okay. And so currently I'm doing the final going over it, just doing the final touch up to send back to the editor for final approval to be published. And so that is what I've been doing every single day.
That is actually good. So manuscript, so it's just pretty much talking about like you said, the framework of actually what we're doing. It doesn't include any type of actual numbers, any graphs, any research. It's just talking about the program and talking about what you all will be researching in the program.
So we are talking about research. What I'm looking at is exactly what does the research say in the field about providing incubator services, and looking at what type of services are needed for people with disabilities who want to access services and training through an incubator. And what we're finding is that there is a gap in the research. So what we are doing is filling that gap in the research. And Dr. Moore likes to call this type of research that we're doing action research. So we are connecting with incubators like yourself and connecting with partners like the Urban League of Greater Oklahoma City and Gallaudet and Oklahoma Department of Rehab Services, so that we can take this framework that we feel will work and put it out there and just see what is the impact of providing these services with the support systems in place. And the goal is to report what's happened. And so we've had so many wonderful things that have happened so far. Currently, we're working with over 61 entrepreneurs with disabilities, which is fantastic. So at this point, I'm charting and I'm just watching the data as people are coming into the project, and just getting a feel for how, how's the incubator doing working with this group? How are the entrepreneurs feel about going through an incubator? And also, speaking as well with the partners to say, are you having a hard time bringing people in? Are we able to find people that are a good fit? And just making sure that everything moves along smoothly. So I hope I answered your question, but
you definitely did.
I'm doing a lot.
So you mentioned some other partners as well, and Miss Lewis is on as well, and she's representing the Urban League for Greater Oklahoma City, and the Urban League in Oklahoma City has gotten in a lot of our Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure most of our clients, pretty much all of our clients from Oklahoma, have come through the Urban League through Oklahoma City. So Miss Lewis, tell us a little bit about how when you first interact with somebody who's interested in the incubator, or it might be interested. What does that conversation look like? How do you tell them, hey, we sign up for this opportunity? You might be interested. You might have if you have a disability, this is an opportunity for you. So walk us through that, what that looks like, how you do the referral.
Okay, so what we typically would do is once someone applies, so we do have an application process that they can go to the Urban League, our website, and apply for the actual program. But I like to do the extra measure. So once they apply, I like to reach out to them just to kind of give that personal touch, because some people may feel like they're going down a black hole when they do the application. But I also want to make sure that personal touch from us is there. And so typically I just want to get to know what they're doing, like what kind of business you have going on, what are some of your challenges, what can be beneficial to you, not just kind of getting to know them. And so once they kind of tell me like, hey, I'm trying to do this and here's some of my obstacles, or I heard about this program and how could some of the benefits, that's when I share the information and the assessment with them, where they're able to go sign up, complete the assessment, and then someone from your team gets to reach out. But I think the biggest thing for us is to make sure that we are getting the word out to everyone, to ensure that to let people know that there is a resource, and especially a niche resource, that they can come and get entrepreneur services. Because we also know that, if you never knew about business, or you're the first person to ever do it, it could be very difficult. It can be very hard. And then you don't know where to go to get those questions answered. And I think with the Urban League, with us having the reputation we have for all these years and partnerships with Langston and you all, and just being kind of known for just how we assist our community with the different resources that we offer, I think it kind of offers that space for us to be, no, you're fine. It offers that safe space for them to come to a reputable organization and partnering with reputable people such as Langston and ITB, just to let them know that we're here to service them, that we're here to just answer those general questions. So that's what I'm kind of there for as well, because it may just be, hey, how do I get my business registered, or what are the first steps of whatever that may be. But if there's some deeper things that we can do as far as getting them connected to ITB so that they can get a community and have some other resources, then that's what we're there to do. So it's been an absolute pleasure. I love working with small businesses. I love getting to know different industries and what people are doing, because we just always, we want to know what's out there and what kind of innovations and what they're creating. And we do know that small businesses is the cornerstone of just our economy. And so we want to be able to support them in that way.
That is good. And so Miss Johnson had a question pop up, and she's watching live, and she asked, or how, and I think this is for the both of you, either one you can answer this question. How comfortable are individuals from Oklahoma when they approach either Langston or they approach you, Miss Lewis, with Urban League? How comfortable are they when they find out that we're not based out of Oklahoma? Is that ever an issue when you run into some people? Because I know for us, that hour difference, it's been an issue sometimes, but overall, like us not physically being there, does that ever come up for any of you?
Well, I would say for me, I think it's about the explanation. So for me, when I'm talking with them, explaining to them that, hey, we are partnering with this organization and they're in Virginia, but they're going to reach out to you and kind of guide you along the way. So I think it's not so much people are not feeling comfortable with someone being out of state. I think it's just explaining to them the benefits and how we all come together. So I think once I relay that information and I'm saying like, hey, once you do this and you give them a step-by-step process of what is to be expected, I think it kind of relieves them of like, oh, okay, so if once I do this, then someone here is going to reach out to me. And then this is what the rest of the process looks like. So I believe that so far it's been okay. I haven't had no resistance on my side as well, but I'm just really good about, hey, this is how this works. I think with anybody, if you explain just kind of the process and kind of how we're all connected, I think it's just been it's been smooth sailing for me.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Cunningham, you could kind of piggyback off of that.
I think Ms. Lewis is absolutely correct. But I do believe that some people want to have that face to face. I think some people are okay. And that's the beauty of the study, because we have those two domains that we're offering. And one is the hybrid, which are the people who can walk in and access ITB right there in Virginia. And then we have the virtual. And so the goal with the virtual is to knock down those barriers where people who are in remote areas or who cannot just drive over to ITB, an incubator like ITB, and get services. And so that is the beauty of this study, because some people are comfortable with it, some people are not. And also starting a business is very, I'm not going to say it's hard, but you definitely have to be committed to working on your business every day. Yeah. And if you are remote, you don't get that day-to-day walking in the door talking to people. But you are able to connect to ITB through the phone, through all these other modes, Zoom, and through the different because you guys offer so many different ways to connect with you. And so it's not a situation where they can never connect with anybody. We have our partners. We have Miss Lewis in Oklahoma City as well. And so they can go to see her at the office if they have to see a person. Sometimes we do need to talk to a person face to face. Exactly. However, I think that this is the main beautiful issue about what we're doing. Finding ways to connect people with services, regardless of where they are and regardless of if they have a disability or not. Being able to help a person with a disability start their own business, no matter where they are in the United States, is phenomenal. And so this is where I get excited, and I'm gonna try to stop talking, but I just think
You're
that
good. You're good.
I just think this is, you know, since I read this and write this, and you know, I can just talk about this all the time. But
Yeah.
this is like, this is in my opinion, this is monumental because if you really think about it, this project can influence policy. It can influence, you know, everything about how we're doing business right now. ITB can set the standard for all incubators to say, if you're not doing this, then you're not doing the job.
Exactly.
And that's where I get excited because if you think about it, people with disabilities have trailed behind when you're looking at it from a standpoint of employment for the last 20 years. It's the unemployment rate for them has been double. So what that tells me is that if you're living with a disability, then you have additional barriers that you have to work through to gain employment past what the next person has to do. So then if you're trying to start a business and you walk into an incubator that's ill prepared, that those are additional barriers. You have to teach those people how to serve you. And we don't want that. We want people to know what to do so that everybody in the community can start their business and their business can be successful. Not because, you know, not because our field is ill-equipped to provide those services. And the way you do it is to have research, action research, like what we're doing now, and talk about it and have somebody say, you know what, we can do that. And this is how we're doing it. And ITB is doing that. And so that's where, in my opinion, I get excited because I get to talk about something in different places that nobody else is talking about.
Exactly. And I think that and you tapped on a lot of different things as far as the policy. And then I think another area of focus is the actual research and the research on the target demographic that we're working on, the individuals with disabilities. And I think all of us individually can relate to somebody, relate to individual disabilities. And in this day and age of them throwing DEI out of out of the window, I think a lot of people don't understand that DEI is for a lot of that is for individuals who are disabled, being able to have access to certain things, and like access to this webinar, for example, and it's just like so many things that, you know, us working together, we're coming at it from one point, we're coming at it from a different point, we're coming at it from all these different areas and all these different perspectives, but we're all doing it to reach a common goal. And we work with that. We have some other partners as well that we work with, a lobbyist group as well. And we're straightforward with them the same way we're straightforward with y'all. Y'all have a bottom line, we have a bottom line. Like Miss Lewis, their bottom line is they're referring people to, they refer them and they get them in. She vets the client, and then and it sounds like you see if they even right in the good right headspace to even if this is something that they could even be a part of. Because what I don't think a lot of people realize is when they actually do the survey, you're in it for the time of the grant. You're not just in it for, oh, I just get some services now and that's it. No, you're in it for the time of the grant, which was 5 years. So that is, I'm happy that you brought a lot of, because I know when you talk with Dr. Cunningham, you you say you're in a lot of you're in academia. So addressing certain things in one way and then being able to talk about it from a kind of a personal business type of kind of in a nonprofit lane way, I think that's good. So I have one question for Ms. Lewis. So outside of your partnership with In the Beginning, you're a leadership development coach. Talk to us about the leadership, some type of styles that you might employ when you're actually addressing a certain person who might be down, might be going through something. Because we do it here all the time, and you do. I know you do it. You do the same thing the Urban League. So talk about some different types of leadership tactics that you might use to help somebody develop their leadership skills. Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm sorry. I'm business development. So
Business development. Sorry, not leadership. Not leadership, but business development. I feel like does leadership tap into that?
But yes, but it goes along with that. So I definitely can
Yeah.
answer that. So anyone that is looking to, I believe, lead anything, we're leaders, in our everyday life. But I would like to say having a servant leadership, I think is like the best thing. Like you're in it. Yes, we're here to, of course, we want to create a lifestyle and we want to be financially stable, but we also have to think about who we're serving. So I'm always making sure that if I am working with someone, you should keep that at the front of your mind each time you are working with if you're a business owner, is being a servant leader, like seeing what your customers need and seeing what's, the needs may change and being able to adjust to that. So I think that's and then being charismatic. I think once you show people that you really do care and you believe in your products and you believe that they really work whatever industry you're in, I think being a charismatic leader takes you really far. I mean, you understand, you have empathy for the people that you're servicing, and having that connection and building community, I think is the best way when you're leading people. So when you're getting into this, it may feel like, okay, what am I doing? Like I'm just leading myself, but you really are. Like I always tell people, a lot of businesses like to steer away from CEO because CEO you are a leader. That's leadership. Mm-hmm. But I always tell them, you are a CEO. You're just, embrace that. Like you are a chief executive officer of your business, and you are delegating tasks. You are strategically thinking about the direction of your business. You are actually putting people in place. You're learning to navigate and all those things. That is a chief executive officer. So sit in that seat, and I want you to settle into that title, because we really don't see a lot of businesses. I see a lot of people saying like, I'm just the owner or the founder. I'm like, no, sit in the CEO seat. Like you are a CEO, get used to that. And I think they think like, oh, only big corporations can use that title, but no, you are a leader of your business, which you are the chief executive officer. And I want business owners to get used to that title and settle into that and know that they are capable. And then a part of leadership is just trusting in your own vision, trusting in yourself. And sometimes you will get it right and sometimes you may not, but it's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're not a leader, but a great leader understands when to pivot. They understand when, hey, something may not work, but let's strategize and go back to the board and figure out something new. But that's all a part. And I believe that leadership is learned over time. So give yourself a break, give yourself grace. Like if you've never done this before, a lot of people, and some people have, but I think over time you adjust to a leadership that works best for you. But I always like to say, being charismatic and being a servant will always get you far as a leader. Always get you far. So that's what my take on that.
Yeah, and I know, especially again with the target demographic that we work with you all with, they a lot of the issues are confidence and the being confident in themselves, being confident in their actual business. Because we'll get a lot of people who come to us and they have an idea and they're not confident pitching their own idea to us. They might be like, oh, I don't know. Does it sound good? We're like, yeah, it sounds good. And we'll also tell them, here's how you can tweak it. Here's different ways where you might be able to tweak your idea to make it to bring it in reality. And I think it's always important when we do talk with individuals who are disabled, kind of like you say, give them that care, tell them to be charismatic and tell them. But a lot of times the people that come to us, they're already charismatic and they're already willing to, be a servant because they've been in that position. They've been in those positions before, and they already kind of know, and they kind of don't get that leadership part. They don't know how to properly lead because they've been in a position of servitude for such a long time. That's the prime example is Miss Johnson. She's my mom, so she was all of my life, I knew her as my mom. And being Miss Johnson and being the CEO, it's like I really have to sit on here and call her Miss Johnson. It's like that. Like, and then but her coming into that and being the CEO, that takes time, and it takes time to develop leadership skills when you address certain people, when you actually make decisions day to day in the business. It's very hard. And all of us together here as a team, we work in different ways to figure out how to get the best out of everybody. And we have another question. I think this is from Miss Ellen, one of our board members. She said, as businesses in OKC seek out support, do they inquire about how services in VA may differ in OKC and how that might impact specific options available to them? So I think that was on the lines of the question earlier, because a lot of our clients here, we have clients here as well who don't come in. They're virtual as well. So they're in Virginia, but we might see them. They don't come into the office daily. Like some of our clients will come in regularly. We'll see them and they'll come into the office, we'll meet, or they'll have an office. But for Oklahoma, it at the beginning stages, it was a little bit of some type of barrier. From my perspective, it was a little bit of a barrier because I felt like I don't know. I feel like some of the clients that we still work with, they didn't really fully trust that we were at the table and that we were really trying to help them. And I think it took honestly the Urban League and you all to kind of bring them to the table. So do they ever ask questions about, I know that was kind of the question earlier about the comfortability, but do they ever inquire? Do they ever ask questions about, are we doing something in person here with our group, or are we meeting or doing anything, or what are we doing in Virginia? Like, is there any ever questions that come up like that?
Well, for me, just in my time and being in the seat, I haven't experienced any questions like that.
Yeah.
So from
early on, there might have been.
Okay. But yeah, from my point of view, I haven't experienced any questions of that sort. Once again, we really try to, when I talk with them, is to give them an understanding of how this really works. I will say that a lot of people you've probably ran into in the past in Oklahoma. Last year there was a lot of funding geared towards accelerators, and they were funded. So people were able to go through an accelerator and receive grant funding towards their business. So there may have been some miscommunication. Like a lot of people may think like, oh, if I go through this program, then they're probably going to give me a grant after I go through, which is not the case. So I do make sure to explain that as well if that does come up. But that was probably some of a lot of miscommunication there, because there was a time, here it is, we went from telling people like, oh, there's, it's very limited grants for-profit businesses. We know that is very true. But due to the American Rescue Act and during COVID, there was funds that came through for many different states where accelerators here were able to receive those funding and people were able to join, and then they received a grant. So now that funding is over with and that's no longer there. A lot of people are still searching, and we still get calls about that as well. I've received people calling outside of this to say, hey, is there accelerators? There's some kind of grant things going on, and letting them know that, hey, that's now over. And this is something, here's some other resources that are going to be just as beneficial to you. So I do believe probably in the beginning, you did get a little bit of that resistance, because they probably thought like, I'm going to get a grant after I go through this program. But that was from what we have went through last year. But like I said, those funds has ended and here we are now. But I think just explaining the process, once again, I think once people know what they're getting into, and I think they're okay with it from my stance, has been pretty smooth. But that's why I like to talk to them and see what they, what are your goals? What are you doing? Or how can we help? Because some people may not be ready to move into the incubator. It may be something else they're calling for, but we're here to vet those questions and kind of understand where they are so that we can send you over individuals that are truly qualified for the program and that will get something done. Not to say that the people who do call us and they may just have a general one-off question, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to, they're a great fit for the program. But that's kind of where we kind of fill in those gaps there.
That is very helpful, and to give us some context, because that is a big thing. A lot of people thought when they first joined that they were getting funded, and they didn't understand that. And we would tell them all the time. Now, again, from what we first started to now, some things have changed, but that has never changed. That you don't get at the end of work, you get your services. Your services are part of the grant, so you don't get grant funded. And I think a lot of people did. And when we tell them that we are a for-profit and we are a part of a grant, a lot of people think that we just giving out money. Now, we did just give out $1,000 this past weekend, but that wasn't grant money. But it wasn't like that. It was a pitch contest, and anybody could have done that. And if you had gone through the academy, you didn't have to be an individual with a disability. You could have just been anybody that's gone through the academy and had the opportunity to pitch and win the $1,000. So I think a lot of people did think that early on, and I could see how it might have got caught up in translation because it's so new. Nobody is doing that. And I think Dr. Cunningham, she's about to chime in and be like, yes, this is like, it's so, nobody has done this. That's why the research is so important to track this process so that, like you said, it can be replicated so that other people can see that this is how you do it. This is how it benefits people. This is how it works. These are the things that didn't work so much. These are things that do work. And so Dr. Cunningham, based off of any information that you have early on, and I know earlier you said you didn't want to get into specific details, but based off of anything early on, what is the most the research has shown? I think one piece would probably be, and this is just me throwing in, the information sharing. That I feel like that might be a big piece. But what is another piece that has shown up in the research that you've noticed and said, oh, we need to look into that. This is something important.
I think one of the most interesting things that have come up so far is when you compare year 1, year 2 to year 3. Year 1, I believe we were all learning. We all walked in with this vision and just kind of jumped in because everybody was ready to start this wonderful work. However, there were some logistics that had to be worked out. There were some connections that we needed to work out. How are we going to do this? How do we make this happen? And these are entities that don't usually work together.
Exactly.
So we don't all speak the same language. So we had to begin to develop that cooperative language across all of the partners. And so I even had to pare back on a lot of the things that I was saying because it was not working. I was not able to fully connect with everybody because I was speaking a language that people were like, I don't even know what you just said. So I had to change the way I communicate. My communication style had to change. I had to, adjust and think about things from a different perspective. And so one of the things that I think that's come out that I feel is really big is really making those connections and understanding how that process can work and the logistics of making that work. Because again, each one of our respective areas, we have our own lane in how we function. And I think we've talked a lot about the difference between having a business and working with a university. Those are very different perspectives in how you go about doing things. And so, the universities are usually more bureaucratic. And businesses are very straightforward. Let's get it done. Let's keep it moving. But there's a process, and the process is not always fast. And so that was an adjustment. And so in thinking through that, talking about that in the research is important, because there are businesses who would do excellent working with universities that support small businesses. That is an excellent connection. The research shows that small businesses do well when they connect with universities. But the trick is, how do you make that happen across business types, across, if it's a nonprofit, if it's for profit, if it's a person with a disability with a business, how do you make that happen across the board? So we know it works. It's just working out the mechanism of how that works. So I've read a lot of research that says that, but I was like, how are they doing it? And so in this particular project, we have accomplished that.
Dr. Cunningham, I have a quick question. So you had mentioned in your research that you said that small businesses do better with working with universities. Is there a reason why so?
Because, well, just from what I've read so far, universities provide a lot of research behind different areas. They also have the capability of bringing in resources that would probably not be in other contexts, such as if you walk in as a business owner, and let's say you want to look into working with people with disabilities. Well, at a university, you'll run into somebody like myself who has a PhD in special education. Whereas if you went to another place, you might not have somebody with that high level of experience to help you form your agency. So, and that's just a very
high level
example. I'm just saying, like, the universities offer, but they offer so many different types of resources that people, I think, overlook, that help you with your businesses.
I find that so interesting when you said that. I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry. The nerd in me just came out. Okay.
You're fine. You're fine. Because, in Langston, what people don't even realize is Langston University has a department in the business department. They're actually working with entrepreneurs. And so once I started working on this project, I started calling them, and I'm like, hey, I need some research on this. Or what about, how could we work with our partners in doing certain things? And they were like, oh yeah, we've done that many years, and we've done this and done that. I'm like, well, that would have been nice to know when we started.
We used to send people to Langston, like, for certain resources that Langston had offered. So yeah.
And so just think about having that type of in business, when you have somebody that's a content expert that you can always call and say, hey, I'm trying to do this certain project, and they can give you answers, they can give you context, they can give you even other connections, that enhances your business, and that enhances your ability to think even bigger and think about scaling. So as you add the university in, even though we have our way of doing business, it's still a very rich and vast area to tap into. And most people who are doing a startup, they don't think about that option because they're excited about their business. You know how that goes. You get this dream and you're like, okay, I'm just going. And most of the time at the universities, they're going to say, slow down, let's think about the research, but you have that energy to push and to go. So that's why working with an incubator is excellent, or working with Urban League is excellent, because you guys could take that energy and say, okay, well, let's start. What do you want to do? You got a business plan, and you start talking to them about what they want to do and how they want to do it. And so we can help with, the research part, and you guys can help, like, keep them going and moving past those barriers.
I think a lot of people they probably get scared of approaching a university. I think, you know, I I'm a West Virginia alumni, so my experience with West Virginia was I was a student and I went to school, I graduated, and that's that is pretty much it. But the whole town in Morgantown was based around that that university. Everything was
Mhm.
kind of interconnected. All the businesses, like we just recently they had a national day of giving, and they said all these businesses gave to the university. I'm like, all these businesses, but then you realize how many people work with the school, how many businesses and how many individuals work with the school that don't actually attend the school but just do business with the school. And
Right.
and a lot of people, I think they kind of get, like you said, they get scared. And here in Virginia, we have VCU, and a lot of people work with the this is the Da Vinci Center. It's called the Da Vinci Center. It's like an incubator, but it's more of an accelerator than an incubator. A lot of our people who work here, they work with the Da Vinci Center, and they get access to people who do the research, who can actually create new technologies and create new things for their business. And I think a lot of people probably get scared or they just don't know. And that's what the information sharing is. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to have you all on here from from different realms, from different organizations to talk about it can be done and this
Yes.
is how it looks. Now, again, the language barrier is something that is the person to person interactions that you have to have. You have to have those conversations. You have to tell people your bottom line, just like Dr. Cunningham, they have a bottom line, just like Ms. Lewis. Everybody has a bottom line, and communicating and having conversations is the best thing we could do in whatever realm you're in. If you're in academia, if you're in business, if you own a nonprofit, it's just it helps to, you know, open up that conversation so that we can all communicate because we all have the same goals, and it's just how we get to those goals. And we had somebody agreed. She said that makes so much sense because college is essentially a tool, and pairing it with business propels that growth, which it definitely does. And again, a lot of people just I don't think they know. I don't think they know, have the information at their disposal, and you know, it's just we're bringing light to it. We're bringing light to an issue that a lot of people are facing. A lot of people in our community, you know, they need to know you can go to your local university, or even if it's not even if it's a community college. I know around here, our community college offers a lot of opportunities for individuals to work with a certain department within the community college. And you could be a business owner. You could be in any space. If you have something that you need to get done, you have a product. So then, but yeah. So Miss Lewis, I want to thank you because you asked the question. I wasn't even thinking about it, and you asked the question, and I love that you asked that question because I definitely was not thinking on that lane. But for our people in Oklahoma, you know, we're not physically there, and I know, and I want to get this out before we actually move forward. I want to make sure I have all the information right. We do have an event coming up for our individuals that are located in Oklahoma, and this is the part where we come up with things and we're working and trying to work together, and this is how that partnership looks. So we are going to have a networking event for our Oklahoma clients coming up soon. I think, let me get the exact date. The exact date is April 25th. It is 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it is at the Urban League, and the Urban League is located at 3900 North Martin Luther King Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73111. That's the right address, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that we are going to be having a networking event, and we've all three partnered together. I think we're going to be zooming in and chiming in. And Miss Johnson is going to physically be there because she's coming on I think that Thursday. So she'll physically be there. So I don't know if we're going to Zoom. I think we're going to try, but Ms. Johnson will actually physically be there as well. And I think this is a good opportunity for anybody located in Oklahoma that's a part of the grant or are interested in potentially working on the team and being on the team, or even interested in being on a grant. I think this would be a good opportunity for you to come in and network with other entrepreneurs and talk to Dr. Cunningham and Ms. Lewis and learn about different opportunities that there are in Oklahoma, and learn about the incubator with Ms. Johnson, and learn how you can work with your university and you can work with different organizations that have been well established for years, and for new businesses like ourselves. So that is coming up, and I just wanted to make sure everybody knows and aware. Again, it is there will be light refreshments included, and it is the 25th of April. It is 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is at 3900 North Martin Luther King Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73111. If you have any questions about the actual event, you could give us a call at 804-468-8141, or I have y'all's emails up. Y'all let me know if it's okay to show emails here. I have Miss Lewis's email right here. You can email her if you have any questions about logistics, how to get there, and anything like that. And I have also Dr. Cunningham. I'm going to show your school email, Dr. Cunningham, if you just want to reach out to Dr. Cunningham, if you have any questions for her as well. Please feel free to reach out, because I know a lot of our people have been saying they're excited and they can't wait, because we haven't had anything physically there. And this will be the first actual event that we're all coming together and doing something physically together in Oklahoma. Everything else has been in Virginia, and we feel bad, and it's just virtual, and we be feeling bad, but we're bringing it there. And I did want to say one other thing too before I go back to some more questions. We did have one of our individuals who is on a part of the grant, Miss Jaquita Brunner. She recently just ran for Board of Trustees in Langston, Oklahoma. She just won the race. She won the race recently, and I just wanted to give her a shout out and congratulate her, because I helped her. I helped her here as much as I could. I didn't actually door knock with her and everything else that she did in phone bank and Canvas. I wish I could have been, but she did just recently win, and she is supposed to be getting sworn in soon. So if you're in Oklahoma, you want to support, and she will be at the networking event as well.
That is excellent.
Yeah, it is really
excellent.
Good. And she's a part of the incubator, and and she's also on our board. So that is just like something that, who knows, like that's something that I can't. And I've worked on campaigns before, and this is the first person I actually worked on a campaign with, and they won. And I didn't even have to do. I didn't have to do a bunch of work, like on a grassroots level, not somebody that's well established, but on a grassroots level, she won, and I'm very happy, and she did the work, and we're very happy, and we just wanted to shout her out as well. And like I said,
fantastic.
She will be there. She will be there on the 25th as well. So did Miss Lewis or Dr. Cunningham, did you all have any questions or anything? Because I feel like we, I don't necessarily have too many questions.
Well, I do have a question. So I know how we all work together, but can you tell us a little bit about like the incubator process? So once they come from, once kind of the pipeline and go through the assessment, and when they get to you, what does that process look like?
So for us, once they get the referral, Dr. Cunningham, she notifies us and sends us a list of all the updated clients, and we'll get a call, or we'll get an email saying that somebody is updated on the list. And usually what happens is we reach out to them. We always call them, and we set up a virtual meeting to meet and just talk about their business. And once we see that they're confirmed on the actual survey, and they're actually a part of the list, we immediately start their services. We add them onto Hubflow. They get added, and Hubflow is new for us. So Hubflow is the client portal. So anytime you get a service, say for instance a business plan or a website or something like that, all of that information gets added to their Hubflow account. So they get added on Hubflow. We do the work for them. We start to begin the work for them. We have meetings with them every month. We do coaching. We sign them up with a mentor. So our board members are the mentors. And I think we have to add more of the mentors to the list, Miss Dr. Cunningham, because we have more from the last time. I know me and Charnay and Miss Johnson and Miss Ellen did it, but I think we have more that we need to add. But we also pair them with a mentor, and they meet with them. I think they meet with them once every other week. And just that process is just a call, check in, see how you're doing, what's going on, see if you need anything. But when they actually do a coaches meeting with me, Charnay, or Ms. Johnson, that's in depth. That's us actually working through your business. That's us doing a service. Like a lot of times for me, from my experience, I usually sit and just talk about marketing. It could be from how to set your search engine optimizers up. It could be how you actually set up it could be simple as setting up a Zoom account. Because a lot of people, it could be anything, or it could be something that you want to do specifically on your website, how to add your products, how to edit your products. So you get that every month, and you get added to the email list. We have meeting every month. We have meetings, incubator meetings every month. And it's different processes. So Charnay is the person who typically sends out all the information. If there's something specific that you need, a service that you tell us that you need, once we have our first initial meeting, we send you the questionnaire for it. So if it's a website, you get a website questionnaire. It's a lot of back end. It's a lot of boring things, but it's all necessary for us to do what we can and do the best job. But once we get that initial referral, we call them, we meet with them, we vet them the same way you vet them, ask them questions about their business, see where they're at. Once they have already done the survey, we pretty much just start doing the services. We start doing the services and keep them and keep them in our system and hold them accountable. Like I said, do everything that we pretty much do, coach them. Let them know about webinars such as these, let them know about events we're having, and keep everybody in the loop and do your services at the same time. And a lot of times, sometimes what might happen is somebody will come to us, we'll do services for them. They'll do their coaching calls, and then they'll just kind of go on their way for a little bit of time. It might be a month or two. We won't really talk to them. And then they come back and be like, Christian or Miss Johnson, this happened. I was doing this and this happened. So it's different it's the process is the same for each person, but how each person works the process and how they work their system with us and add us into their system is different for each person, because each person could be different at a different stage of their business, and or they could just be starting their business. So they really need that hand holding at the beginning. Or they could just already have something established and they need this, and this. And we got that, and that, and we do it. But yeah, it's a lot of information. We receive a lot of information, add them to the portal, and pretty much get them in the loop of the incubator and hold them accountable and hand holding them through the business services that they receive. That's the best way I could put. That's the most easiest way I could put it, because it's a lot of different moving parts. And for me, as Chief Strategy Officer, my role is specific to strategizing and marketing and marketing. And then Charnay, she's the person who keeps track of everything. So I don't really see the list. I don't get the list. Charnay keeps the list, and she tells me, here's who you need to be. Here's who we're working with today. Here's who's added to the list, and here's what they need. I think that, I don't know if that, did that answer your question, Ms. Lewis?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I didn't want people to think that it's just me, Charnay, and Miss Johnson on the team. You know, I think a lot of people come to us and just think that it's just us, and it's not just us. It's a team of people behind. It's a team of people that you can access to, like Miss Lewis. You have access to her. A lot of people who come through the Urban League, they come through the Urban League, and they know you all, and they know that if they need something there specifically, they have access to you, just like they have access to Dr. Cunningham as well for anything that the university might offers. But yeah, I think that's the best way I could put it. Dr. Cunningham, did that sound like that's the best way? I think I did. I said what I could. If that, I think
That sounded, yeah, that sounded fine. That sounded fine. I think the work that you're offering is so layered, and there are so many different components that go with helping someone with a business, and then looking at the fact that just helping them with the startup, or some people may come to you with a business that's already started, and then you have to go back and help them to refine what they already have. I thought you did a good job. It's fun. That sounded fine to me.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they come to us at different stages, like Miss for example, Miss Brunner, she came with with one thing, and we had to kind of figure it out and figure out how we can best work with you on this specifically, and help her with that particular business, her logistics business, and get that right, and do everything right for that. Get her logo, get her everything that she needed for that. So it's different for each individual, because each individual is at a different phase of
Absolutely.
their business. Sometimes it really is just the inception stage, and those are typically the most fun and the best businesses to work with. The businesses that are just in their inception stage, because we get to really guide them from the beginning to the end. We get them registered, we get them their site. All they have necessarily, they might just have the product, they just might have their service, but we can actually help them organize it and get it in a way, and get it in a way that they can understand it, and they can work it, and they can develop wealth off of. And that's a big piece that I think from our coaches, our the pitch, and Dr. Manibe, he was very happy, and I'm so happy that he was on and judged. And I love that way. I love the fact that we were able to pitch and have contestants pitch their businesses. But I think one piece that we needed to pick up on for these next this next, like, as we're still going through, was definitely that the financial side of the business. Because with the academy, we did have an accountant and a bookkeeper on that was teaching, and some people met with the accountant and some people didn't, and some people met with them, but they need a lot more work. So it's like more work for us, but but I think that was something that we did notice from the pitch, the financial side, and that wealth development side. Okay, you got everything established, you're working with your clients. Now, are you keeping track of your books? Are you keeping track of your payroll? And are we keeping track of the growth? And that was what Dr. Manibe said, to put the money value to the growth. We have the value of the work that we do, the actual products that they receive, and how that helps them. But the financial side is what we really are tapping into now, so that our clients can actually start to begin to develop, well, not even begin, but to develop their the wealth from their business, and actually have the generational wealth that we're all looking for. And that also puts into one other thing that I wanted to tap into before I let everybody say any last words, was we have a Kiva loan webinar, not a webinar, but an information session coming on. It wasn't gonna be virtually, but we're gonna make it virtual because again, we feel like this information needs to get out to as many people as possible, to know that people can get access to funding and have lines of credit and different options that they might see. So we do have a Kiva informational session coming up on April 17th. It is at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you have to register for it on our site, and it's just on our homepage on the website, you can register for it. And if you're in Virginia, you can attend in person. If you're not in Virginia, you sign up and we can send you the Zoom link. So if anybody's interested in that, we have some partners here with the Bridging Virginia and the Metropolitan Business League that will be coming in, some experts that will be coming in and actually teaching the course and giving the information and answering any questions that anybody might have. It is a crowd-funded process, so it is based off of crowdfunding and it's based off of your network and based off of the individuals that you work with and your constituents. So if you have any questions about that and you want to learn more about Kiva, please register online at inthebeginningcode.com. I'm gonna put the website up and you can go to our website and register on the homepage and get this information, because we're getting the information in just like y'all getting the information in, and we want y'all to have as much information so you all know. And that's what Dr. Cunningham is doing. It. She's putting it in an academic framework so that researchers and other academics can see this and see how it works for us. But for regular people who may not read literature, this is the in dissertations and all that type of stuff. People who might not be privy to those things, this is the best way for you to learn, to actually participate, watch lives, and attend events. So Ms. Lewis and Dr. Cunningham, I'm gonna let y'all do some last minute closeouts and say anything that you didn't address maybe throughout the webinar.
I'm just going to encourage everyone to join. Like, I think this is amazing. I think we came and we conquered, and we wanted to show everyone about the different dynamics of this program from each side. And I just encourage everyone to go and apply and get the application. You can go to the Urban League OK.org, and we will have a tab just for that, and the small business entrepreneurs tab, and you can fill out the application and we can get things started. One of the things I do want to say is that with any time you are developing a business, you need community. People, I cannot stress it enough how much community is so important, because of course we can have all the resources in the world, but I've found that community is the best support system in growing your business. And I think by going through this program and having people that have like minds and is going through the process with you. So I think just with the incubator process, you are having someone else, you're joining a community of people that is experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I stress to entrepreneurs is get in community, get into with people. And it's something about looking next to you and seeing someone else that is in the similar situation. Y'all going through the progress and y'all building it together. So I just encourage everyone to apply. It's out there and it's available, and we are definitely here to support you in any kind of way. So I look forward to seeing you all apply and who's eligible to do so, and share it with someone else if you know of anyone that has a disability and that's needing entrepreneur services.
I just wanted to say, I thought Ms. Lewis, she did an excellent job right there. And at Langston University, we are excited to support every person that's coming through the M2 potty. And we're excited to see all of the wonderful businesses and the wealth that will be generated from each and every business that comes through this project. And so I'm excited to get to know this population of people, this community of people, and any feedback or information that you'd like to provide me with, I am here to hear it. And I'm excited to work with each and every one of you.
Thank you, Dr. Cunningham, and thank you, Ms. Lewis. I really appreciate you all coming on tonight. I love doing these, and I love exposing individuals to, big things that are happening in partners that you all can work with. I put everybody's contact information up here. I put Ms. Lewis' contact information, and I put the website to the Urban League up. So if anybody wanted to fill out that form and the survey, it's still up there. So please go fill it out so we can get your business started. So you can, whatever funk you in, this is now the time to do it. This is now the time to start your business and really get that ball moving, because the world is going crazy, but we are here. And you, like Ms. Lewis said, you have a community here. Wherever you are, wherever you're located, you have a community, and you have people that are backing you and supporting you. And here's Dr. Cunningham's information. If you want to get in contact with her as well, please feel free to email her. If you have any questions about the research, I think she would love discussing the research. Like you said, if you have if you are an academic and might have some ideas or something like that, please contact her and let her know, because she is one of the lead researchers in the Into Pod. So we are very, very happy to have her on board and be working with her as well. And so we're going to close out here. Our website is inthebeginningcode.com. We don't have the survey on our website, so go to the Urban League page and visit the Urban League page to do the website, and to do the survey. If you're interested, you can give us a call at 804-468-8141. That's 804-468-8141, and just let us know that you're interested, and we could get you signed up. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We had a good amount of people join us tonight, and I want to thank you all for giving us your time and tuning in. Next Tuesday will be a client highlight. One of our Oklahoma clients, Miss Shay. I don't know how to fully pronounce her last name, but she will be on with her business, her therapy business. She'll be on next Tuesday on the live with us, just talking about her business. So that is an opportunity for you to meet one of our first Oklahoma clients and listen to her story as well, and listen to her testimony. So thank you all.
I know her. She's amazing. She's amazing. Yeah. Great.
And she is, and I know we're gonna get and I think next month we're also gonna try to get Tasia on as well. I think they are both good friends, and they're working together, and we're just very happy that everybody is meshing together and working together. So we love it, and we're very happy. So please tune in next Tuesday, and then every Tuesday after that we have another one the following Tuesday. So please stay tuned and stay connected with us. And y'all too, before I end the stream, I want y'all to stay on. Don't hop off. So thank y'all, and have a good night.
Thank you for joining us for today's In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We hope you found inspiration, valuable insights, and practical strategies to apply to your own entrepreneurial journey. But the learning doesn't stop here. We invite you to join us again next Tuesday for another powerful session where we'll continue to spotlight incredible entrepreneurs and share knowledge that can help take your business to the next level. If you enjoyed today's webinar and found it valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Spread the word. Let others know what you learned, and invite a friend, colleague, or fellow entrepreneur to join us next Tuesday. Once again, we appreciate you for being part of the In the Beginning Incubator community. Keep striving, keep growing, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for joining